Sunday fun day. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna skip today because it's so beautiful outside, but I'm taking a break from the heat. But you better believe I'm getting back out there in a moment. All right, today I'm gonna talk about freedom, I'm gonna talk about problems with the US dollar, and I'm gonna follow up with a little bit more on population. Yesterday I was showing how population growth is a problem for the economy. If you don't grow at the correct rate, or if your population declines, you have some problem. I'm gonna add some more evidence to that. India's economic growth engine begins to stall. This is from earlier this year. Coincidentally, and you may not know this, but they have a population issue too. Their population is not in decline, but in various areas in India, population growth is not what it should be, and they have an aging population. We saw it here in Canada. The youth of India like to go somewhere else for a better opportunity, leaving an aging population behind. And this is already having an impact on their economy. That economy that's being forecast to be a superpower in the future, it's some cracks in the walls. I took some heat a few weeks ago because I was saying our population growth, which has fallen off a cliff, is not rapid enough. And some of you were like, what are you talking about? We've had too many people over the last several years. It doesn't matter what the population growth was 2 years ago or 3 years ago. It has to be kept at a good, sustainable, steady rate. You shut the door for even a moment like we have now, or we start to decline, we're going to have problems. And these problems present themselves very rapidly in either direction. If you have a huge influx of people, the problems present themselves very rapidly. If you have a slow influx or a decline of people, the problems present themselves very rapidly. As I said yesterday, the United States is looking to add a whole bunch of debt, make some cuts, stop people from entering the country. They're going to have problems. BRICS finance ministers make unified proposal for IMF reforms. A few years ago, BRICS was a joke. Like, people were looking at that saying, no one's going to dethrone the dollar. Now, with the United States consistently shooting itself in the foot, everyone's looking at BRICS saying, oh, gee, what an opportunity. And the BRICS countries are having more and more say on the world stage. The United States dollar is having its worst year since 1973. Do you remember 1970s? The Nixon shock, the oil crisis, etc., etc. It was really bad for the US. It's just as bad right now. And their own companies are making it worse. This is from a few months ago. Visa's role in stablecoins, okay? I just got around to seeing the video yesterday. Oh my God. You can go look it up. I'll summarize it for you. Visa wants to use stablecoins, essentially cryptocurrency, to circumvent all the laws. That's not exactly what he said, but if you listen to what he said, that's what he meant. They want to use stablecoins to avoid issues with exchange rates, and they want to use stablecoins to avoid issues with currency problems. Let's just say that. You know, those minor currency issues that can come up when you have sanctions imposed upon you. Now, before I go on to my last bit, which is yet another nail in the coffin for the United States, I want to show this chart. State of freedom in the world. The lighter colored blue is most free. The dark red is the least free. Canada scored 97 out of 100. This is for all the folks who think that we live in a dictatorship. You want to move to the United States where it's an 84 out of 100. As of this assessment, the numbers are going to go down. Why do I say that? Because they're bringing back legalized slavery. Oh, yes, they are. Oh, yes, they are. Trump says he is willing to let migrant laborers stay on U.S. farms. At a campaign-style speech at the Iowa State Fairgrounds, Trump said he is working with the Homeland Security Department to help farmers who depend on migrant laborers for their seasonal needs. He said we'll also work with the hotel industry on the issue. The employers simply need to, quote-unquote, vouch for the migrants. You know, the migrants there rounding up and putting in detention centers? Yeah, those migrants. Just go read the article. Just go read the article. That's the title again. You can pause the video and look it up if you like. These people become the responsibility of these employers. And if you don't want to work there anymore, you go to jail. Imagine if that happened here. Let's say you're working for a plumbing contractor and you're like, take this job and shove it. And the next day the police show up and they arrest you. What would you call that? I call it slavery. I don't know what you want to call it. By the way, I'd like to remind anyone who wants to go down to the United States, if you leave Canada and go to the United States, you become a migrant. Just food for thought. Just letting you know. If you think you're going to be okay when you go down there because you might be one of them, don't be so sure.